Join me in welcoming to the stage David Draper and Uncle Millie, Mark Millis, Cook with Cabela's.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you too. Welcome to this very special episode of Cook with Cabela's here in Las Vegas at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Hunter Christmas. I'm David Draper, as he said. Mark Millis, not my real uncle. I know there's a lot of resemblance though. But today we're going to talk about, as he said, tough cuts of meat, and specifically my favorite cut of meat, which is, what's everybody else's favorite cut of meat first? On an elk, what's the favorite cut? What's the best cut? Backstrap? How about tenderloin probably? Right up there?
Loin.
Yeah? Yeah. What my favorite is nowhere near those. Mine's kind of down by the foot. It's called the shank. What do you do with shank meat? A lot of guys trim it, grind it.
Right, goes in hamburger,
Yeah.
sausage.
What are we going to do with it though?
We're gonna make it delicious.
Yeah.
Tender, fall off the bone.
Fall off the bone tender. Literally my favorite recipe, my favorite way to cook shanks, my favorite way to eat big game. So what do we need to do to get started, Mark?
Well, we're gonna heat this pot up right here,
Okay.
our Dutch oven. And it's nice to use a heavy pan to get started. And we're gonna brown these shanks. And so I'll start with a little olive oil. We'll get that in there and get
Maybe
that
you can
going
see that
hot.
up on the screen, what those shanks look like. This is an elk shank, bone-in elk shank that's cross-cut into about, inch and a half pieces.
And tell them what that means, right? With the hole in the bone,
Yeah,
right?
Osso Buco is Italian for hole in the bone. So that's that little marrow in there, which is the best part actually of the cut. You get a little fork and eat that marrow. It's wonderful, but the whole thing's gonna be good. You're all warmed up there?
It's getting there.
Okay. Can I start drinking a beer now, or is that after the show?
Right,
Okay.
half and half.
Half and half?
Half and half.
All right, we'll save, you get half and I get half?
I do.
All right.
Here we go.
You ready?
Yeah.
There you go.
Actually, you just kind of
Dump them in?
Yeah, let's put the first couple in there.
Oh, splash a little hot
That's
oil.
all right. That's all right.
All
We're
right.
cooking, right?
I never make a mess when I cook.
No.
Well, you were yesterday. Did you see the mess I made?
Yeah, you did. You pulled the bowl right out from underneath the grinder while it's still grinding.
I was catching that in my hand.
That was a good one.
Yeah, good move?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we'll lay these shanks in here in the bottom, and what we're trying to do here is get them browned up. We're going to try to brown them up a little bit.
And what that does is what? It builds another layer of flavor. Always when you sear your meat first, anytime you're doing a long slow cook, if you're cooking in a crock pot, sear the meat first in another pan to get that good flavor that you're building, and then you put it in the crock pot and then get your liquids going. So that's what we're doing right now, is just braising that meat and get a nice brown
And it'll
crust.
hold the moisture in the meat, right?
That's right. Also, sear it, gets a nice little coating on the outside. Those are browning up wonderful.
Quick.
Nice and quick.
All right. So now we need a little salt, pepper.
I think we got salt here.
Right.
You just want me to sprinkle it in there, or you
Go
want to
right
do it?
ahead.
I don't want too many cooks
No,
things.
go right ahead. Go
All
right ahead.
How much you want in there?
You can put just about all of it.
Oh, all right.
That's it. That's good.
Nice and coated.
Yeah. I'm going to keep turning it. Now
Okay.
a little pepper. Go ahead
yeah.
and throw a little pepper in there.
I like a lot of black pepper.
We got some Hungarian pepper coming in here as well.
Those sound a bit spicy as well, I bet.
Yeah. It just adds another little flavor to it.
Yeah. And that's what these it's called braising, which really is, to me, the most essential cooking technique there is for wild game, other than grilling or smoking. But braising really breaks down those cuts. And what that is cooking with moisture, and you're gonna seal that up and cook it for a long time. And like I said, we're just building flavor, so we're just keep adding
You can
stuff.
take a look right here,
Yeah.
right? See how that's starting to get a nice crust on it? We'll put it right back in the pan.
Yeah, that is looking good.
All right, let's add a little garlic.
Garlic. I bet we do a lot of garlic.
Yeah, a lot.
All right.
Put the whole thing in there. Right?
Oh, I hope you guys can smell that, because it smells wonderful.
I'll stir that a little bit. We're going to have to start adding a little liquid, and that's where this dark beer comes in. And we have some crushed tomatoes as well.
All right, which one do you want first?
Well, you know what I think we should do, since this is getting all seared on the bottom and everything, we need to have a little release. So we'll use a red wine to pull some of those flavors off the bottom of this cast iron pot.
I thought the wine was for me too.
Yeah, it is. It's
Man,
all for you. Dude.
Man.
Put her in there. Watch this. That's good. Go ahead.
Yep. And you can see that's just releasing all those brown bits that are on the bottom. That's crunchy flavor right there.
See
That's
that right
wonderful.
in there? Does that help you?
Getting that? Excellent. I'm going to put a little bit more in there.
Go right ahead.
Not going to put it all because we might need it for later.
And with this induction cooker that we have right here, It's instant heat to the bottom of the pan. Instant heat to the bottom of the pan. I can still touch this pan, but it's boiling in the bottom.
Yeah, that's amazing how that works. I don't understand it. Technology baffles me like that. So, and you can do this same stuff with other tough cuts. Neck, a neck is great to cook like this in a braise. Shoulder roast, another excellent cut to braise. Basically, the farther you get away from those hooves and head, the more tender that meat gets. It's really, I mean, what makes meat tough is all the activity. So a deer that's running or an elk that's moving around a lot, you know, an elk can cover a lot of country. Those shanks are getting tough. Up when you get a little bit farther, those muscles aren't moving as much, so they're going to be tender. That's why your back straps are tender. That's why your tenderloins are butter tender, because they don't really do anything. They just hang in there and grow deliciousness.
Okay.
What up?
Now, you have a couple options. You can leave it in one pot like this right here. Put in some onion.
Onion, yep.
Yeah, put some onion in there. Celery. We'll put those hot peppers in there as well.
Oh,
Let's not forget those.
And you said this is a Hungarian hot wax pepper.
Yeah, that's right.
I saw you bite into one of these yesterday.
Yeah, it was warm. It was real warm. All right.
Did carrots get in there now?
Put the
Or do you want to
carrots
wait? You want to do the carrots now?
Yeah, put them all in there. And this is really going to have to cook for a couple hours. So you let it cook for a couple hours. It's not going to be a fast. We're going to be done here in just a few minutes. And we have samples from things that we've already pre-cooked. So this takes a while. Once you get this seared up, you put your vegetables in it, your potatoes, you get let's put that sauce in there as well. Yeah.
And there's a couple different kinds of Osso Buco. This is obviously a tomato-based one. There's others, if you know, some people don't like tomatoes or it's too acidy for them. You can just use the stock or the wine or the beer. I mean, it's just you need some moisture in there. Obviously, tomatoes are adding some acid to break it down, but any kind of moisture, because we're talking about long cooking.
Long time.
I mean, what I do with my cast iron, I set this on the stove, start it in the morning, then goof off all day long. I work all day long, I forgot.
Yeah.
And then come back and it's ready at night. It's kind of like you're doing it in a crock pot. It's really what a crock pot, you're braising. That's exactly what you're doing.
Just like that. Now I'd wait to the end of like your last maybe 45 minutes or so before you put the potatoes in there.
Yeah.
But if you can take a look in here, right?
Yeah.
This is cooking nicely already.
It's
Anybody ever do any cooking like this?
Yeah, show of hands. Who, you know, any of you guys do Osso Buco or do a long braise? Who here uses their shanks like this rather than grind?
I'm gonna put the lid on.
All right, we got a few people. It's surprising.
Really?
A lot of people just grind their shanks because I mean it's simple. You cut off the bone real quick. There's all that sinew in there. You don't want to deal with that, so you grind it. That sinew, all that stuff, it's melting away into yet another layer of flavor. I mean, you're just building flavor with this whole dish. So, and like I said, you're gonna put the lid on it because you want that moisture to stay in there all day long. And if you have it in your oven or on this or in your crock pot, you know you want to check it every once in a while. You don't want it to dry out. You don't want it to burn. Some of that moisture is going to escape. So just always keep a little bit of moisture in the bottom of that pan as you're braising.
Yes,
So
absolutely. We have this beef stock here that we can add. And are you going to drink that or are we going to put some of that in
put a
there?
little bit of it in
We're
there.
going to put some of that in there?
Yeah, we can do that. You think that's hot?
Yeah, a little bit.
So that's really cranking up there.
This little tabletop cooker is amazing.
Yeah. And I know you cook wide open all the time because you live life wide open, right?
I like it.
To me, this is probably simmering a little too high for me. I would crank it down a little bit because you're going to lose some of that moisture. But since we're kind of on a timeline here, I think we're okay.
Easy now. You look thirsty.
Oh man, I am.
There it is.
This, they'll get a stout. And that's another thing. If you're going to add beer to a meal or to a dish like this that's going to braise for a while, if you put a light beer in there, you know, that's some moisture, but it's not going to give you a lot of flavor. That flavor is going to boil away. So use a good dark beer. Even if you don't like drinking dark beer, I tell you what, Guinness is one of my favorite things to cook with. Other than the fact I like to drink it so much, I don't like to waste it in the cooking. But that dark heavy flavor really builds in there.
And we used it yesterday, and I tell you what, it really tightens up and makes a great sauce on the bottom of the pan.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. It does thicken up very nicely. We've had some that's been cooking all morning long.
Should we do a before and after, show them how tough this is now?
You want to do that?
Give out samples of this where it's really tough.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you would have to
No,
gnaw on that
I'm
for a while.
kidding.
I can't take you anywhere, can I?
No.
No. All right, you got the tongs, so
We're out here in public.
yeah, why don't you come over here and plate these up? I'll hold
Okay.
the plate, but right there on that end.
We'll take some of this.
Yeah. Oh, it's like falling. See, that's how tender it is. It's falling apart when he picks it up right there.
Look at that. Look at that. Set that in there.
Yeah.
Let me put a little sauce
I
on
think
it.
you need a lot of sauce. Well, not a lot. A little.
A little
Look at
sauce
that.
on
Oh.
it.
And you can kind of see he showed you what it looked like a second ago and now what it looks like. I mean, it's just all that cooking time just made that sauce thick. Those vegetables also start kind of disintegrating a little bit, and that thickens the sauce. It acts as a thickener. All right.
We can wipe that down a little bit.
All right. Make it look pretty.
That's it. Here it is.
All right.
A little green onion around the outside.
Yeah. If you guys want some Osso Buco tonight, this is going to be really good. There's a place called Piero's across the street that has wonderful Osso Buco as well. But you're going to pay a lot more for it than you would if you did it at home, obviously. I mean, this is a meal that's very expensive in a restaurant. But I better show you
You'll
before
pay
I sit down.
$30, $35 for a plate, and you won't get that much.
Yeah, and you'll get one one little piece. So, all right. So that's really what Osso Buco is about.